Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's finance and budget chat. This is the first one of the year. If you're just stumbling upon this video, I'm Shelly's Millions, and we go live every Sunday around 11 a.m. And we can talk about whatever you guys want to in the chat. Usually, I have more of a topic prepared. Today, I don't. Look, I've got the little green guy right here, Debbie. All right, we'll change him to smiling. So it's so interesting. No matter how long I work at a movie theater is my regular job. And no matter how long I work at the theater, you just can't always predict how a weekend's going to go. I thought we were going to be really, really busy. Is my mic working, by the way, guys? Let's hope so. Yeah, I think it is. You guys can probably tell I've changed my setup again, more similar to how it used to be set up. Okay, so at the movies this week, we were busier than we were Christmas weekend. We were busier than we were New Year's weekend. And normally when it's the holidays, that's when everybody kind of comes out. Also, guys, excuse me, I slept in today. So you get the pajama version of me today. So we were really busy this weekend with a film called American Fiction. So that's the big one this weekend. And then we also it's called All Us Strangers. That one's also doing really well. And then Poor Things is also doing really well. Hi, Marcus. Thank you. Of course, I was very happy to be there for everybody during the pandemic. I would like to continue to be there for everybody even after the pandemic. I know a lot of us are still struggling financially, still struggling with inflation. I'll share this. This is no shade to my employer. I have mostly worked at the same job for 27 years. I briefly left to go somewhere else, and it was a good opportunity, but it didn't work out. So I went back to the company where I had been working for 27 years. And when I went back, they actually gave me more money. And not a lot more, but a little more. More is more, right? So I'm thankful for that. But because of my commute, which I used to live 3 freeway exits from my job. And if I told the truth, I definitely started renting in this area because of its proximity to my job. And then when I bought my house, I bought it, they say buy a neighborhood you know. I moved half a block from where my old apartment was. So, um, well, Debbie, you were the first one in here, so we started with movies. Okay, so I moved half a block away from where I lived and in my apartment, and I chose the apartment because of its proximity to my job. So we could kind of even say that I chose my house because of its proximity to my job. That wouldn't entirely be true though, because my realtor is a saint. I love her. I made her drive to Inglewood. We looked in Long Beach. Where else did we look? Inglewood, Long Beach. She drove all over LA County. We looked in La Puente, nearby where my mom lives. Anyway, I love talking about the house. I'm excited. I've started organizing it a little bit, as you can see. So, whatever you guys need help talking about now, I'm happy to talk about with, because I get it. Even though I am starting to reach a lot of my financial goals, I have bills that I have to pay. I'm in a little bit of credit card debt at a 0% interest rate offer. And I got technically on paper a pay increase, but because my commute is longer, I'm spending more on gas. And of course, gas prices are up from what they were pre-pandemic. And I'm losing time due to the commute as well. So it's making it harder. It's making everything harder. I still haven't quite adapted to my new work schedule. It used to be a morning shift was like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And because I lived so close, even with traffic, 3 freeway exits can still be a 45-minute drive in LA traffic. But I was home by like 5:45. Now our morning shift would be from 10:30 to 6:30, but because of my commute, I wouldn't get home till 7:30. And the night shift used to be 5 p.m. to about 1 a.m., which it is on Fridays and Saturdays. So those are the shifts that I still like, but because of traffic, and getting ready, I still don't have as much time before my work shift. And then usually the other days of the week, the night shift is from 3 p.m. to about 11 p.m. And with traffic, I'm getting ready for work at 1 and I'm still getting home pretty late. So I don't feel like I have as much time in the morning to work on things like YouTube. But we did put that up on the vision board, which I have up higher. I also brought my neon sign back in here. I found that for me, my previous layout of this room was more conducive to me actually getting up and like filming. Also, shout out to this plant that I've mostly left alone, and it's got a whole lot of new growth over there. So that's good because I normally can't even take care of a plant. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you, Bonnie. So yeah, we are in 2024 and we're still working on our finances and budgets. I want to do a couple quick updates for you guys budget wise. Everybody always talks about cutting out your subscriptions. And I was just listening to Caleb Hammer and he was like, get rid of your Netflix. And the girl was like, no, because Netflix keeps me from going out and like spending more money. I also was trying to save money because I spent a lot of money on a trip I went on and I'm paying off the washer dryer. So I thought I was going to cut Netflix, but then I actually just ended up downgrading to the version with commercials. And I actually like it better with the commercials. I like having time to get up and grab a drink of water. It's not like too many commercials. I don't know if that's because commercials on Netflix is new, but it's not like they don't interrupt the show like too frequently. They don't show a ton of commercials, but it is just enough to like go have a water break or like I like having a little break from the TV like that I didn't choose. It's like, oh, okay, get up, walk around, grab some water, go to the bathroom. So downgrading Netflix is a good option. I think I went from paying like $15.99 down to $6.99. So I'm actually enjoying the commercial breaks. Okay. Then the other thing that I did is I switched to Mint Mobile, and I think I have them linked in the description down below. I really like them. I've noticed really no difference. I will say that it's possible that somehow when I switched, even though I kept my phone number, it's possible that it's reading it as a new number. I have noticed that I seem to be getting a few more like spam calls and text, but I just ignore those and then block the number. So for me, and that could happen like with my old cell phone sometimes too. So I'm just kind of like not worrying about that. All right, I think I'm gonna grab my vision board. I have so many ideas for videos. I always have. And then I don't make the time to do the videos. Even today, I was like, I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m. no matter what, which in my head I would like to do, except for I closed last night. And it was one of those shifts where I was getting off at 1 a.m. So like home at 2. And then I'm not the type of person I can just come home, take off my clothes and like go right to bed. I need to like wind down. I need to disconnect from work mode, kind of calm down, and then go to bed. And that's always hard on nights when I close. Okay, so the vision board, which we did last week, which is really more like kind of a goals list, health is wealth. I've been eating healthy. My goal is to lose 20 pounds. I have not been to the gym or exercised at all this week. And I definitely could have made time for that, and I just didn't. So shame on me, but no shame. Just a saying. I did schedule 3 sessions at the gym. So I had some personal training sessions that I paid for a long time ago. So I need to work through those, and I scheduled 3 for this coming week. So we're going to say that we worked on that goal. Use cell phone less. I don't think I did that. Play violin for 30 minutes. There's still time to get that done today. Change living room furniture is more of a long-term goal. That's going to take some money. I don't want to paint the patio furniture while it's really windy. I'm going to say that I'm making progress on making the actual YouTube videos because I'm changing up the layout of the room again to, I don't know, increase my productivity and my creativity. Learn a new skill for work. I haven't done that, but I am going to look into those Skillshare classes. Let me know if you guys want me to look at that with you guys. Try a new activity. I haven't done that yet, but I also added like learn to back a boat up into a lake. And I said, take mom to see my half siblings. Immediately after I got off my live last week, I contacted them. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. So immediately after I got off last week's live, I contacted them. So I think we're going to try and go around my mom's birthday. I don't know if we're going to the lake house, but that's okay. I would like to meet them in Tennessee though, or the lake house. So I got to see about that. Read 10 books. Oh, my nose still tickles. Okay. I renewed my Audible subscription and I'm going to count listening to books as reading books. So I think I'll be able to do that. Attend a conference. I have no idea which one I'd like to attend. Vacation, home, or investment property. Not doing much with that except for thinking about it. Take golf and tennis lesson. Haven't started that. Haven't adjusted my 401k contributions yet. And I can't do that until I've paid off some other credit card debt. Lower blood pressure. That'll come with the exercise, and spend more time with my mom. I did see her this week, but it was to go to a doctor's appointment. So I don't know if that counts. And I don't know if we'll go over the vision board every week. So what are you guys up to? What financial challenges do you guys have right now? Any financial goals that you guys want to talk about? Any questions that you guys have about like anything I've done with my finances? You've heard me say a couple times during this live that I'm in some credit card debt. I did intentionally take on that debt to do a life upgrade, which they say not to do until you have the cash to do it. But I really, really wanted a washer and dryer. I didn't need a washer dryer here. The laundromat was fine, but it is really convenient. And it's one less thing to kind of like worry about. When I went on vacation, I came home, I'm able to just do my laundry here without it being really heavy, carrying it to my car. It was worth the money, but I did have to do a lot of upgrades and I didn't have the money for it up front. So I put it on 0% interest rate credit cards. I am scheduled to pay that off, well, one of them off by March. And then I had my trip come up. That I paid for, but I had the car repair right around the same time. So that also went on a 0% interest rate credit card that I have like 2 years to pay off. And then the actual washer dryer, I have like another year and a couple months that I can pay that off, all at 0% interest rate. But that's now 3 things. So we're getting a little bit to where, and I'm cutting it close on the one deadline. So we're getting a little bit to the point where I definitely need to rein in my spending. And not today's live, but we will go over like my budget. I think my YouTube channel lost money this year. I am going live because I enjoy it. I like the core group. I would love to expand the group to people who come in on Sundays, but I love saying hi to all of you guys. But these are not performing very well financially, and that's okay. It's just kind of a way, like a placeholder, so that when I do really get back to it, that things will go good. I haven't plugged everything in. My MacBook's telling me it's about to die. So give me 1 second here. I still have to redo all the cords and everything. I think this will be plugged in. Okay. Okay, we've got the MacBook is charging now, so I'm not going to die. There's 11 of you in here. Feel free to leave a comment. Hi, Bella. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are concerned about going into 2024. Also, Happy New Year if I haven't said that already. I think this is our first finance and budget chat of the new year. I did want to say this just as a comment. I think it's kind of funny. One of the budgeting ideas that I've really seen kind of blow up over the last year is envelope stuffing, right? Or cash stuffing, they call it. And some of the little binders, they're so adorable. I don't think that would be a good method for me. And the reason why is I love my house, but it's still in a little bit of a not great neighborhood. I wouldn't want to keep that much cash in my house. So I wonder if anybody has kind of done it where it's like Monopoly money to represent your real money or something, because my money, thank you, Bella, for reminding everybody to hit the like button. But like, I wouldn't want to have my money in the house. And also, I've said this before, for me, if I had cash, even if it was in an envelope, even if it was designated for something else, knowing me, like if I were going to go out to dinner with friends or something, I would probably pull from an area of cash stuffing where I shouldn't, to be like, oh, well, if my friends want cash for dinner, I'll have cash with me. And then I would probably just never put the cash back, even if everybody just split it on their credit cards. So for me, cash stuffing wouldn't be a good method for saving money. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. You guys like the video? All right. I also brought back my trusty Shelly's Millions sign, and I think we're going to rehang that today. We're just going to accomplish stuff while we're on here. So where does this go? I think I have to push this a little further out of the way. Okay, and then I think we can kind of see it. Was it there? Must have been about there, right? We're just going to put it back in the same spot it used to be. And I think this was it because I actually still see the pinholes. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I rented out this room for a little while. Last year? Not last year, 2022. Where are the other two things? And when I did that, I kind of took out all my supplies. So now we're just putting them back. This is where everything goes. This is definitely where this was. This is definitely where this was, but I don't know if you guys can hear those. The pins are just popping right back out. And I think that's because the wall in my house is not great. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's still not in there. All right, I'm not confident at all that that's going to stay. Let's see if we can fire up the old Shelly's Millions sign. And I'm going to put the couch bed back as well so that I can film proper videos. What happened to the border? So like the door in the back, the border, like the one that was staying here. It was kind of like a friend of a friend. Like a YouTube friend, not my best friend that rents out the garage for work from home. But it was just somebody that needed a place to stay during the holidays, not 2023, but in 2022. And so I totally cleared out the room. Some of the stuff had to stay, but I cleared out the room and I never put it back together. But yeah, he's gone, and I don't think I will ever rent out the house again, the inside part of the house. All right. I also think we're getting pretty close to my mom probably actually moving in. There we go. I don't know. Something feels right about this. You guys said There, it must have been like that before. Although that changes the lighting on my face. Anyway, I like this setup. Somebody said that they liked more depth behind me, so maybe we'll try and push the desk further away from the wall. But just aesthetically, I like this a lot better. Oh, and then we got that's creating glare. I don't know. Anyway, gives us some interest in things. So I need to totally redo this room a little bit more, get everything re-plugged in so that I can start making videos again. Well, I guess you don't have to totally have a room ready before you make videos. They say if you want to make videos to just film them, but I like trying to have like an aesthetically pleasing setup. And also when I make a proper video, I like to slap some makeup on and do my hair. And P.S., if you guys have missed it, the reason why my hair always looks like this now in videos is because I always close Saturday night. And unfortunately, okay, movie theaters are considered amusement industry. So we don't necessarily have the same like food handler and food service rules because most of the things we sell are boxed and prepackaged. But we also serve popcorn, which isn't. And my hair has just started to fall out too much that there is no way that I can't, like, I have to wear my hair back in a ponytail, even if it's not required. I have to pull my nose. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. I'm not sick. I'm just probably like moving all the dusty stuff around in here. All right. So what else are we going to do on today's live? Oh, I wanted to pull up an article. This is what happens when I'm kind of sleepy. Okay. About that $20 fast food minimum wage. I'm going to take a sip of coffee while I pull up this article. And of course, once I pull up the article, I will share it with you guys. I hope that I can find the article easily. Give me 1 second. Actually, there's a couple. All right. Let me share my screen. 1 second. All right. Let's see how it's perfect. Okay. So this is an article kind of about some of the stuff that's starting to happen because of California's fast food minimum wage going up to $20 an hour starting April 1st. Okay, so one of the things that's already going to start happening is Pizza Hut's going to lay off thousands of California delivery drivers in 2024. And the operators are blaming a new state law that will raise employee wages to $20 an hour starting in April 2024. Now, here in California, even if you work a tipped position, your employer still has to pay you the state minimum wage. So, minimum wage in California is now at least $16 an hour. In some counties, it's more. There's a dog barking. I don't know if you guys can hear that. In some counties, it's more, but California state minimum wage has to be at least $16 an hour, even if you work a tipped position. So those delivery drivers would have needed to be making at least $16 an hour anyway, but now it's going up to $20 in April 1st. So I guess Pizza Hut used to have like their own drivers. You know, they have like the little pizza warming things, and they would have like the Pizza Hut uniform on. But now, thousands of pizza delivery drivers in California are facing layoffs as two major Pizza Hut franchisees are eliminating their delivery service. The layoffs will affect 1,200 workers. That dog is killing me. Okay. The layoffs will affect 1,200 workers of restaurants in Orange, Los Angeles, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura counties. They'll also impact more than 800 workers at Pizza Hut locations in Sacramento, Central California, and Southern Oregon. and the Reno Tahoe area, according to reports. Okay, this is a different article than I saw before, so that's not just California. Operators are blaming a new state law that starts in April that boosts the fast food minimum wage by $4 up to $20 an hour. The law, known as Assembly Bill 1228, was introduced by Assemblymember Chris Holden, a Democrat in Pasadena, and signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom in September. After the layoffs, customers will need to use third-party delivery apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats for pizza and food deliveries. And that's so interesting because I just realized this. Guys, please let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Uber drivers, Postmates, and DoorDash, they are independent contractors. They're 1099 workers. So they are not guaranteed a minimum wage. At least they weren't when I was driving for them. So maybe I need to look that up again, but I don't think they're guaranteed any sort of minimum wage. So we're going to just look that up again. But it's possible that you could also, let's just talk about how logistically that works. Oh, I wish Joel was in here. And I didn't drive for Uber Eats when I drove. I just drove people to and from their destinations. But it is entirely possible that you can't do that many orders for Uber Eats to even get up to the $16 minimum wage, let alone the $20 minimum wage, even with tips. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up so that anybody popping in knows what we're talking about. But if somebody orders, you have to accept the order, then you have to drive to the location to go pick up the order, which isn't always ready when the Uber driver goes to pick it up. The other day, it was New Year's Day. My company pays for the staff to have a nice meal on New Year's Day. So we went to a hamburger place called The Stand. It's great burgers. And I placed a fairly big order because it was for everybody working that day. And I was waiting to pick it up. While I was waiting, 2 other delivery drivers were also waiting. And I want to say that I waited 15 minutes to get my food. And the delivery drivers were also still waiting there for the food to be ready for at least 15 minutes. So also, it's not always easy to find parking at some of these restaurants. So you have to accept the order, drive around, find parking, park, wait for the order, take the order back to their car, and then drive it to the destination. If it was a Pizza Hut driver, at least they're just going back and forth to Pizza Hut, right? Pizza Hut's making the pizzas. They're giving it to the driver's running them back out. But that can be just for one restaurant that these drivers are probably spending at least 30 minutes to go pick up your order and take it to you. So I think it's hard for them to make even the $16 minimum wage in California being a delivery driver. Okay, let's see what Ready for the World has to say. Ready for the World says, state of California, $70 billion deficit. $30 billion is the missing UI EDD scandal. That money's gone. So you say it's a major talking point of the 2024 election. Get ready, my brand is hot. All right, well, thank you. I do want to deviate a little bit though away from all the political content. That EDD money, I don't think that there was a way to do it. And maybe one day, I'm going to write this down. I will Google how much each state gave out in fraudulent funds. How about that? How much? Because I don't think that problem was unique to California. How much each state gave out in, we'll call it illegal EDD funds. I want to look that up. If it's interesting, I'll make a video on it. And of course, when there's an election, you're always going to bring out the flaws of your competitors, right? That's kind of just the nature of politics. So, of course, that will come up. I'm just not sure with the amount of claims that there were, how else that was supposed to play out. They were trying to process everything quickly. Like, would you have wanted to wait a month for your money while California really carefully verified everything? And when you look at the money, like, I'm cheap. So from a state or an employer perspective, my answer might be like, yes, we should wait to give that money out until we've had time to like thoroughly verify everything. But as someone who is unemployed from the pandemic, it's like, give me my money. Like, don't mess around with my mortgage. Don't mess around with my ability to put food on the table or keep my home heated or, you know, like, so it's really, really tricky. Okay. Ooh, the Golden Globes are tonight. Okay. I'm going to switch to look at the Golden Globes because I have not looked at even the nominees yet. I know. And then we're going to go back to the California state minimum wage. That's the current plan. All right. Hold on one second. Should probably stay on one topic, but Debbie, you asked. Golden Globes 2024. Let's do Golden Globe nominations. Also, one of my favorite pastimes, and I'm not sure if this would be a conflict of interest for my job, I am having so much fun reading the negative reviews of the movie Poor Things. And again, I loved the movie. I love that director. His name is Yorgos Lanthimos. I think I'm saying that right. He did The Favorite. He did The Lobster, and he did a movie called The Killing of the Sacred Deer. And then he's also done Poor Things. So I do seem like I like most of his movies. And I liked this one. I liked Poor Things, but I do not recommend seeing it with your family. See it with like people your own age. Okay. Do we want to go to the variety? All right, let's just go. Winners and nominees. I want to find, okay. We'll go to the official page. All right. So for Best Picture, Motion Picture Drama, Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, or The Zone of Interest. Okay. I have not seen Anatomy of a Fall. I have not seen Maestro, and I have not seen The Zone of Interest. I think I'm never good at this, by the way, so don't take my word. I feel like it's going to be Oppenheimer. Okay. Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, Air, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, May, December, or Poor Things. I feel like that could be Barbie. American Fiction just came out. It's doing excellent at my theater. A lot of people say Poor Things, but it's really polarized. So I'm not sure it's going to be Poor Things. All right. Best Motion Picture Animated. We've got The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, which is Disney Pixar, Spider-Man, Suzume, Mario Brothers, and Wish. It almost always goes to a Disney movie, which would make it Elemental. But I actually think it's going to be the Super Mario Brothers movie. Maybe that's just kind of what I'm hoping. And then The Boy and the Heron is supposed to be excellent. I wanted to see it. It was playing at my theater, but now it's not. Okay. Cinematic and box office achievement. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and say that that's got to be Barbie. But let's go ahead and read those nominees. It's Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy, John Wick 4, Mission Impossible. Am I sharing this tab? I am. Okay, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, the Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, I'm going to go. I feel like it's either going to be Barbie or it could be Oppenheimer. I don't feel like it's going to be any of those others. Okay. Best Motion Picture non-English language would be Anatomy of a Fall, Fallen Leaves, Lo Capitano, Past Lives, Society of the Snow, or The Zone of Interest. Okay, Since both Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest and Past Lives were both in the Best Picture nominee for drama, I'm gonna say it's gonna be one of those. I think it'll be Past Lives. My second choice that I think it would be Anatomy of a Fall. Okay. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. Annette Bening for Naiad. Kaylee Spaney, I don't know how to say her name, for Priscilla. Carey Mulligan for Maestro. Greta Lee for Past Lives. Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. And Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall. I feel like that's going to go to Lily Gladstone. And then male actor in a drama. Andrew Scott for All Us Strangers, Barry Keoghan for Saltburn, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, and Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, I will tell you, I think it's going to go to Bradley Cooper for Maestro. I want it to go to Barry Keoghan for Saltburn. Female actor in motion picture, musical, or comedy, Alma Poyotsti for Fallen Leaves, Emma Stone for Poor Things, Fantasia Barrino for Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and Natalie Portman for May December. I think this one will go to Emma Stone for Poor Things. Best comedy, best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. And can we just say, I just love him as an actor. Joaquin Phoenix in Beau is Afraid, Matt Damon in Air, Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. I feel like this is going to go to Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. My second choice would be Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role. We're only going to go through the movies. I think Golden Globes does TV too, right? Or is that the Emmys? I don't watch a lot of award shows. Okay, Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple. Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Oh, she was really good in that. Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. Jodie Foster in Naiad. Julianne Moore for May December, or Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. This one I don't know. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to go with Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers because I liked her in that movie. I haven't seen the only other one. No, I've seen two of the others, May December and Saltburn. Saltburn is just not usually the kind of movie that gets a lot of awards. And then May December is really good. It could be May December. I don't know. But I really liked her in The Holdovers. So I'm going to stick with that. Male actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Charles Melton in May December. He was really good in that. Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. He was good in that. Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon. Oh, I'm going to stop there. William Dafoe in Poor Things. Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling in Barbie. All of those performances were really great, except for I haven't seen Oppenheimer. Like, it's about, I don't know, bombs, which seems scary, so I didn't watch it. Robert De Niro is the kind of character you just absolutely love to hate in Killers of the Flower Moon. So I sort of want it to go to him. But I loved Ryan Gosling and Barbie. I think he played that like to a T. So did Charles Melton in May December, though. And then Poor Things. Poor Things to me is like the dark horse where I don't know. Okay. Best director, we've got Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Celine Song for Past Lives, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. I really feel like it could be any of them. Greta Gerwig was on my flight on the way home. She was actually sitting a few rows behind me. So that was kind of cool. I didn't know, though, the flight attendant pointed her out. I did really like Poor Things, but again, I think everybody was too split on that. I'm going to say that we're progressive, and I'm going to say it's going to go to Poor Things. Are you guys agreeing or disagreeing? Let's see what you guys are thinking here. All right. Ready for the World says you'll stay away from politics. This is about my brand in 2024. I guarantee that LA Times will interview in October. Please remember that you're following predicted. I will. And we can do an update on that. Have I ever gone to King Taco in the LA area? They are incredible, big word of mouth treat. I think I have. I feel like they're closer to the Coliseum, right? There's a ton of great taco places in LA, which I love. Okay, Vanessa, hello. You're about to do a brunch buffet. Have a lovely Sunday. You need to lose weight, and this is not a good place to go to do it. LOL. All right, be strong. I believe in you. Maybe convince your girlfriends to go for a walk around the neighborhood after brunch. You want Oppenheimer to win. It's a good movie. I haven't seen it. Like, it looks like a bummer, quite honestly. So I haven't watched it. Stick with the salad bar for Vanessa. Okay, let's go back to these nominations. Yeah, I mean, people did really like Oppenheimer. I think Barbie was so unexpected, though. I wouldn't have thought that they could do that with a film about a doll. Okay, best screenplay motion picture. Celine Song for Past Lives. And I loved Past Lives also. It's so, like, it just feels like it could really be happening in anybody's life. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Eric Roth and Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. I struggle with his name for Barbie. Justine Triet and Arthur Harari for Anatomy of a Fall. Tony McNamara for Poor Things. Best screenplay. Probably, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll make a prediction. I'm going to just go with Barbie. I thought it was really clever. Okay. Best original score. Daniel Pemberton for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Jerkson Frederick for Poor Things. Joe Hisaishi for The Boy and the Heron. I'm butchering these people's names. Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer. Mika Levi for The Zone of Interest. And Robbie Robertson for Killers of the Flower Moon. People have said really good things about the score for Poor Things. So I think that could be it. Best song, motion picture, Addicted to Romance in a movie called She Came to Me. Dance the Night in Barbie. I'm Just Ken in Barbie. Peaches from the Super Mario Brothers movie. Road to Freedom from Rustin. And What Was I Made For Barbie. I think people kind of love Billie Eilish, so I think it's going to be What Was I Made For Barbie. Okay, and now we're getting into TV. And that is not my area of expertise, so I'm going to skip that. But I did forget. I bet if I would have thought about that, that is probably why we saw such an uptick in business this weekend. A lot of people, especially in the Los Angeles area, like to watch all of the awards contenders before the awards shows play. So I bet we'll still see Sunday nights normally drop off significantly for us at the movie theater anyway. And I bet tonight that'll be extra heavy. I like watching the awards shows for the dresses. And speaking of watching things, I'm really into trying to find about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I'm really interested. I don't know why in her story and her release. I hadn't heard a lot about it prior to this week. Okay. We're going to go back to we're going to go back to finance, guys, and about this $20 minimum wage. So I think I'm going to go to Google. $20 minimum wage robots. Job cuts. Let's try that. Let's try robot chefs will create jobs, not steal them. Okay. Let's see here. That's from 2016. Okay. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right page. Okay. From workers' rights to automation, how a $20 minimum wage is reshaping fast food. This article is from October 1st, 2023. It's by Sylvain Charlebois. Charlebois? I can't say that name. Trying to give credit to the author, though. Okay. The ongoing debate surrounding the prospect of raising the minimum wage has been a burning issue both globally and right here in the United States. California has taken center stage in this discourse with a bold move to significantly increase wages for fast food workers. Commencing on April 1st, 2024, California's 500,000 strong fast food workforce will witness a surge in their minimum wage to $20 per hour, representing a staggering 23% increase from the $16.21 average hourly wage in 2022. While this initiative may appear well intentioned, aimed at enhancing the quality of life for low wage earners, it is imperative that we critically examine the political consequences that may arise from such a significant policy shift. The wage hike, undoubtedly advantageous for workers, will undeniably exert substantial pressure on fast food operators. In an industry where labor costs traditionally constitute approximately 25% of operational expenditures, the introduction of a $20 minimum wage will have profound and far reaching impact. Some employees may even find themselves earning in excess of $25 an hour, a wage level historically unheard of in the fast food sector. Consequently, the implementation of this policy will inevitably necessitate operators to reevaluate and potentially overhaul their business strategies. Because this is how I was explaining it to somebody the other day, right? If a boss has $100,000 as their payroll allotment, they're not gonna, I don't think that they're going to say, oh, well, I'm willing to take less profit in order to pay my team properly. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to look for ways to cut their expenses further. So let's see what this article continues to say. All right. One of the most consequential implications of such wage hikes is the hastened march towards automation, which is something that I've been saying for a while too. As labor costs surge, the economic rationale for fast food establishments to invest in technology and robotics becomes increasingly evident. Automation has already begun to reshape the industry, with self ordering kiosks and robotic kitchen equipment becoming more prevalent. With the advent of the $20 minimum wage, the pace of automation is expected to accelerate further as operators seek ways to offset the burgeoning labor expenses. Given the current backdrop of escalating food prices and consumer inclination towards staying home to save, raising menu prices is not a viable option for food chains striving to remain competitive. And I'm going to agree with that too. I think it is practically just as expensive to order something from fast food as it is to go have like a nice sit down meal, except for maybe tip and like it depends on if you're getting a drink or cocktails. Then that can shoot that up pretty quickly. Okay. While automation undoubtedly offers efficiency and cost savings for businesses, it raises legitimate concerns about the human element in the fast food experience, as evidenced by the banking industry's adoption of ATMs. Over reliance on technology driven interactions can render the consumer experience impersonal and less satisfying. With fewer employees available to engage with customers and prepare food, the very essence of fast food as we have come to know it may undergo a fundamental transformation. Furthermore, the substantial wage increase poses a notable risk to the job market. It is plausible that in the coming years, the fast food industry in California may not employ the same volume of people as it once did. A diminished workforce could have cascading effects impacting not only the livelihoods of those who lose their jobs, but also the broader economic landscape. It is important to acknowledge that California's decision to raise wages in the fast food sector reflects a more extensive societal concern about the state of fast food. Fast food chains have often been criticized as purveyors of nutritionally deficient meals, contributing to health problems such as obesity and diabetes. By significantly increasing wages, California appears to be sending a message that the fast food industry is not entirely welcome in the state. While many concur with such a stance, it is vital to recognize that the sector employs well over 500,000 people and supports food processing and farming within the state and beyond. Although California's approach is unique, it has the potential to set a precedent that resonates with other markets, including Canada. As the labor movement continues to gain momentum, other governments, including our own, may encounter similar pressures to follow suit. Presently, the province with the highest minimum wage is British Columbia at 1675, while the lowest is New Brunswick at 1475. A jump to $20 per hour would indeed be substantial. However, governments must proceed with caution. While research on the correlation between minimum wage and job creation yields mixed results, an upcoming study to be published in Manufacturing and Service Operations Management suggests that the benefit of such increases may not be as generous as hoped. Another study conducted by Purdue University also indicates that higher minimum wage in the fast food industry can lead to improvements in food safety and quality assurance practices, an aspect seldom discussed. The decision to raise fast food wages in California represents a well intentioned effort to address income inequality and improve the lives of low wage workers. Nevertheless, it also raises significant questions about the future of the industry, including the rapid adoption of automation and the potential loss of jobs, which is definitely something that I have been mentioning I am concerned about. Policymakers must conscientiously weigh the pros and cons of such policies and consider their broader implications for both workers and the fast food sector. Striking a balance between the needs of employees and the realities of the industry and society at large will be pivotal in achieving a sustainable and equitable solution. So yeah, that's kind of all right. Siren says that they stopped eating fast food 3 years ago. It's not good for my health and it's too expensive. Yeah, definitely cutting out fast food is going to be better for your health overall. And they even say that even if like you recreate the same things that they serve at a fast food restaurant, somehow like if even if you're just I love Taco Bell, right? So if I get a tortilla, beans, cheese, and some hot sauce and I make it at home, that even though it's the same thing, that it's probably going to be like less processed if I make it at home for myself. Also, I will say that at home, I'm much more likely to make myself like a burrito bowl instead of like wrapping it in a tortilla. And not that like all carbs are bad or whatever, but cutting out the bread and just making a bowl instead is something that I like to do to try and kind of like cut calories when I'm watching my weight. So you can probably make it healthier, cheaper, and like for me, I do like fast food. I like the way it tastes. It's not good for you. at all, right? It's got a lot of sodium. It's got a lot of, like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to know how it's made, quite honestly. But part of the appeal is like, oh, I can just hop through the drive-through and like get it real quick on my way home. But what I'm finding even now is either the drive-through lane is really long, and so it's not actually any faster than it would be to like come home and like heat up a can of beans and like make yourself a burrito bowl, or it's so understaffed that even if I'm the only person in line and I've ordered, a lot of times I swing through the drive-through on my way home from work, which I'm gonna try and work on this year. But there's only one person working, so it's like they take my order and then they also have to go prepare it, but because there's not anyone helping them, I'm still not getting the food that quickly. So it's kind of losing its appeal if it's not actually fast anymore. And then I think I've told this story before. My roommate bought two Whoppers, I think with cheese and a large drink, and it cost $26, that's just crazy to me. That's a lot of money for fast food. All right. Let me look and see if I can find one more article on this. Let's type in job, not job cuts due to $20 minimum wage. Let's see. So Pizza Hut. Okay, should we look at the Forbes article? That was kind of a while ago. Let's look at this one. Okay, this will be the last one we look at probably before we head out. Let me know what you guys think is going to be the result of a $20 fast food minimum wage. Something else that I would be lying if I said I didn't think about it is, the smaller chains, because it only applies, I think, if you have more than 60 locations nationwide. So I am curious what happens to the locations that aren't required to pay the $20 minimum wage. Like, why would I work for a local mom and pop burger joint that pays $16 an hour when I can go to McDonald's and make $20 an hour? So yeah, that concerns me a little bit. Okay. As new minimum wages are ushered in, companies fight back with fees and layoffs. An estimated 10 million low-wage earners are getting a raise in the new year, but not all employees are taking higher minimum wages across 22 states in stride. Okay, we've read about the Pizza Hut, so I'm going to skip that statement. Pizza Hut's going to charge a service fee, citing the increased cost of operating in California and tacking on an 8.5% service charge to the bill. So let's just do the calculator really quick. Okay, let's say that a pizza cost $20. Just using my calculator. $25 times 0.085. It's going to add an extra like $2 to your pizza. Okay, Sylvia says, if fast food places are understaffed, how does automation affect non-existent employees? So, okay, I'm not sure if I'm reading that right, but something that I've talked about before on here is like Elon Musk debuted these robots and people were making fun of them because they couldn't walk. But like, this is the perfect example I can think of. If somebody, like, you could make just a robot arm that just dips fries in the frying oil and flips them out when they're done, right? And so that kind of automation could affect like the fry cook. And so that could help the restaurants. So if they don't find employees, they're like, okay, well, I just have this robot. Now, the cost of a frying arm robot is probably really expensive. It's probably a really big initial investment up front, but a robot's never going to get sick. A robot is never going to like hurt itself and sue the company. So a robot isn't going to need to have like breaks. I mean, maybe it does to like keep it running properly, but like you can work a robot for 365 days straight, 24 hours a day if you want. So a robot isn't going to need to have breaks. A robot also it's not going to be like, I don't want to make fries anymore. I want to be a manager. A robot's never going to ask for more, right? A robot's just going to do the job it was programmed to do without any of the things a human would actually need. It would probably cook it with more consistency. Like this would never happen, but somewhere where I used to work, not where I work now, we had these pizzas and we were given the ingredients and we were supposed to assemble the pizzas exactly as they were supposed to. Some of my staff decided, oh, well, this would be really good if we put this on it, or it would be really good if we put that on it. And I was like, guys, like we're telling guests like what is on this pizza. Like you can't just be adding stuff because like somebody's going to have an allergy or something. But we would get into it even about the popcorn. Some people, it's supposed to be 2 tablespoons of salt to our big kettle full of corn. But some of the staff would be like, that's too much salt. And some of the staff would be like, that's not enough salt. So even with that, like sometimes you're fighting with employees to make sure that they're cooking a consistent product. And that's the manager's job to make sure that that's happening, the consistent product. But a robot's just going to always do it however you tell it to do it. And you're not going to have to do much follow up. You know, maybe you got to grease the robot up or something. But yeah, it could help employers solve the problem of not having enough employees. But I think what the hope is I think that they're hoping that with the increase in minimum wage, there will be a lot more people who want to do fast food work or are at least willing to do fast food work. And then there wouldn't be shortages. In the job market. Like I know that we just talked about that, Pinky Wells. Yes. So we were actually reading that and we've got part of that article up right now. So at the top, Pizza Hut is laying off more than 1,200 delivery drivers in California ahead of the state's nearly 30% increase in its minimum wage to $20 an hour from $16. And I want to say that even $16 is up from last year. Let's look at what California minimum wage was in 2023, because even $16 is an increase for the state. California minimum wage 2023. Yeah, so it was $15.50 and now it's already gone up 50%. Not 50%, 50 cents. So it was already up from where it was last year. So that's actually a $4.50 increase from where it was in 2023. So, no trouble. Yeah, and of course we're talking about that $20 fast food minimum wage that goes into effect on April 1st and looking how it might affect the economy. And most of the articles that I'm reading seem to say that, yeah, it's going to be less jobs, that companies are going to switch to automation and they're going to like try and do the same amount with less labor. Because I don't know of any company just honestly that's like, oh, okay, I was spending, let's do some math on this actually. Okay, so let's say that a company's budget was $100,000 for labor, right? Okay, so now we're going to divide that by $15.50. That would be 6,451 hours in 2023 that they could buy. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so last year, 2023. In 2023, the minimum wage in California was $15.50. So let's not even count the 16 that it is now, because businesses aren't even used to paying that. I'm going to close this. Okay, so minimum wage was $15.50. If a company's budget was $100,000 in payroll labor, that would get them 6,451.61 hours. Okay, now, and companies are normally like wanting to do more with less. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, oh, we want this $100 in labor to go down to 90,000, right? Because companies are always wanting to like increase their profit margins. But let's just say, for the sake of saying, that they still keep this $100,000 budget. But now I got to use my calculator. 100,000 divided by $20 an hour, that equals 5,000 hours on the nose. At 20, sorry. So that is, they need to keep that same budget. They have to figure out how to cut 1,451 hours, 0.61. So like, to do the same amount, companies need to shave off 1,451 hours. I don't see any company, or let's do it the other way around. 6,451 hours, 0.61, times 20. If a company wanted to keep the same amount of hours, right, to pay 6,451.61 hours at $20 an hour, that would cost them this year $129,032. And I don't see a situation where a company's like, oh, goody, goody gumdrops, I want to spend $30,000 more in labor in 2024 than I did in 2023. So they're going to be looking at ways that they can save 1,451 hours. Or maybe what they're going to do, they're not going to cut their salaries, the people at the top. Maybe the middle managers are going to make less. And then that's going to make the middle managers unhappy. But more than likely, or maybe they're going to operate at reduced business hours since they need to cut 1,451 hours to be spending the same on payroll as they were just a year ago. But I don't know how many of you have seen articles like utilities going up in the state of California. I gotta Google that really quickly. All right, let me read my mom's comments and Pinky's comments. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. That means to like the video. We're over an hour, but I can't believe I waited till almost the end to do the mathematical breakdown on how much more it would cost a company just to have the same number of hours labor. Okay, my mom says, more automation, less staff, so automation won't affect non-existence, but customer service will suffer greatly. Yeah, except for maybe the robot's never going to forget your fries, and so maybe it actually increases efficiency. I don't know. Remember Burgers in California operated with less than 4 employees, went out of business quick. Yeah. Okay, let's look at what's happening with utilities. So give me 1 second. We're going to Google again. Are utilities going up in California 2024? Oops. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to read some of these headlines here, right? from the Google. Understanding the surge in electricity cost. The recent approval of the California Public Utilities Commission approved an 11% increase in PG&E for 2024. PG&E announces yet another increase in 2024. Utility rates in California are on the rise. California's bills are going up again on Monday. Income-based electricity bills. Let me see for commercial or utility for businesses. For businesses. Same thing. It looks like it's an 11% increase. Utility rates in California. Okay, let's try and read one of these. We're going to do, let's do the ABC one if it'll let me. It will. Okay, so PG&E, and there's other like electricity suppliers, right? PG&E request another rate increase. Here's how much you could pay in 2024. Now, this doesn't say if it's for businesses. This is for homeowners. San Jose, get ready to pay more on your electric bill. Last month, the California Public Utilities Commission approved a nearly 13% rate hike, which you'll start seeing on your bills starting January 1st. Oh my goodness. So they approved a 13% rate hike, but now PG&E has requested another hike and asking for another $2 billion. Every increase that you hear about is just the tip of the iceberg. The Utility Reform Network Executive Director Mark Toney said, and every increase that gets approved by the California Public Utilities Commission stacks on top of each other. If PG&E receives approval for their latest rate request, customers are actually looking at paying $50 or $60 a month more next year compared to 2023. We can't afford that. Okay. PG&E's request to the CPUC would be for an additional nearly $2 billion in rate increases that would go into effect in March of 2024. PG&E says they're working to make up costs from the last 2 years to make their electric system safer and more resilient. So I'm not going to read all of this, but it does seem like we're looking at potential rate increases on electricity, at least on the residential side, but usually that goes up for consumers as well. And they're saying that there's a 13% rate hike that's already gone into effect, and then now PG&E is looking for another $2 billion. Okay, so we already have, for the same amount of hours, if we wanted to keep the same amount of hours. Okay, hold on. Don't erase everything. Okay, now we're going to erase some of this. Okay, so labor versus 129,032. Okay, so if they want to do the same amount of hours in labor, 2023, 2024. So already it's costing $30,000 more in labor. But now, let's say utilities. And for businesses, it can be quite high. So I'm going to use that same $100,000 number. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, it's a possible number. So it's already going up 13%. So in 2024, if they were paying $100,000 for utilities, I think that's $13,000, but yeah. Okay, it's going to cost them $113,000 in 2024. So now, what used to cost a company $200,000 to operate is now going to cost for just with utilities and an increase in labor for these businesses could cost them $42,000 more. Like, I know that a lot of businesses aren't actually like making that much profit right now anyway. They're still trying to recover from the pandemic. And I just don't see how, like, with things going up like this, how they're supposed to, like, I don't see how they're supposed to make it. So I kind of feel like this is going to drive people out of the state of California. And something else that I worry about, even for myself, what I do is very similar to like a restaurant manager. It's very customer service oriented. If we change these jobs so that they're like more automated, what happens to people like me? I don't technically on paper have a lot of like technical skills. I feel like I interview well and I will try hard and I learn things quickly and I'll get the job done. But those are what employers consider soft skills. So if they start eliminating like customer service type jobs and entry level jobs, what are people like me supposed to do long term? Okay. Pinky says, better put your utility bills in the name of a senior or disabled person in your household and get those discounts. That's not a bad idea. So maybe I need my mom to move in with me sooner rather than later. Okay, discount for seniors is not that much. And with only a 3.2% Social Security raise, she'll stay cold now. But Mom, I don't think you're PG&E, so please stay warm. We'll work out your utility bills. Okay. Pinky Well says, I work in construction and homeowners are selling and leaving. Yeah, I mean, so California, I think this is going to drive more people out. I think that like franchisees, right? They have multiple locations. My friend Grant, that I've done that collaboration video on, it's called like Interview with a Millionaire, and he interviewed me for his channel. He has franchises of a company called Main Squeeze Juice. And his are in like Texas and I think Louisiana. But let's say that I'm a franchisee owner in California and I've got like 4 McDonald's, right? I don't quite know how this works, but we're going to go with this. Let's say I have 4 McDonald's and I can't afford to operate all of them. I would close like my lowest earning one. So I think there could be like less. And then if I close an entire location, which I do think potentially business owners would do, isn't that going to make them, that's going to create like less jobs overall in the state of California. And they were trying to help unskilled workers. It's what they call fast food workers. I don't think that fast food workers are unskilled, but that's who this is designed to help. But if entire locations just close or stores start cutting hours, it's going to have the opposite effect. And I think more people are just going to move out of California because it's too expensive to do business here. I'm the optimist today, guys. All right. Pinky also says cost of living and or politics is why they're leaving. Yeah, I don't disagree. All right, guys. Well, we talked a really long time today. So I am going to head out. Let me know what you think about this $20 fast food minimum wage in California that goes into effect on April 1st. Let me know if you think it's going to have the impact that they want it to, which is helping lower wage earners, or if you think that ultimately this is going to hurt. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time.